All right, in this video, we're going to be going over how to trade Fibonacci with the Elite Algo strategy. And with Elite Algo, it makes it a lot easier to figure out where your Fibonacci points are and where your points of entry are, to where you can have a clear, more precise trading experience and have that equate to making more money, to being more profitable as a trader. So let's get right into it. The Elite Algo, I love it because it gives you different turning points in momentum. And being able to understand that, especially when you're a new trader, being able to have that done for you is highly valuable, because you could be guessing for hours on the charts, not making any money, not making any sort of progress in your trading experience. But with this strategy, you'll be able to pinpoint exactly where and when to analyze and execute in the markets. So let's go over a few rules. So obviously, Elite Algo is a trend trading software. So you're going to be trading with the trend. That's going to be rule number one. Rule number two is, when you're trading with the trend, in an uptrend, you have a series of higher highs and higher lows. Something like that. In a downtrend, you have a series of lower lows and lower highs. When I was a new trader, it was hard to figure out where were the higher highs, what was a higher high, and how to identify which candle is the high or the low, and it was really confusing. But with this, you'll be able to tell exactly how to do it. So let's show you how to set this up. So you want to go into your invite only scripts. This is going to be Elite Algo Premium Indicator. You have to have access to this indicator privately to be able to use it. The way you'll get access is, I'll actually put a link in the description so you can get access to Elite Algo. It's highly worth you getting access to it, because it's probably the best trading indicator in all of TradingView for the entire system. So you have that. You're going to go in and put Elite Algo and Elite Algo Oscillator. That's what these two things are. The second thing you want to do is, normally most people have it on like candlesticks with Elite Algo. But what you want to actually look for is, you want to actually change it to the Fibonacci candles. That's going to be this icon here. So with the Fibonacci candles, it'll flow more smoothly with the Elite Algo system, and you'll be able to execute faster using it. So going into those candles, and we're looking at kind of going back, looking into a few trades, just kind of back testing it. But you're going into that. The second aspect is, you see, when you're going into setting up the Elite Algo Premium Indicator, there's a few things you want to do to get it to look like it mine. First thing is, normally people have the dashboard enabled. Uncheck that. You want a clean chart with this strategy. And show signals, people can, do it for that. The reason I don't do show signals on this strategy, you see right here, where you have the buy signal coming in on the higher low labeling. For me, in this strategy, the higher highs and lower low labeling is going to be way more important than the actual signals, and I'm going to show you why. So I unchecked that. The other thing is, you want to make sure you have your candle color set to enabled. You don't have to worry about any of the other candles. And then as far as the sensitivity, just want it at 1. You want it to be a little bit more sensitive with this strategy, because you're looking for high velocity execution. Then the most important thing is, you want to enable the swing highs and swing lows, and you want to leave it at 10. Normally the default is 10. I've messed with other settings, and I feel that this is give you the best midpoints to get the most important highs and lows in the market. You don't really want to have your take profits or anything like that on, at least while you're looking for a trade. You could turn them on after you take a trade on a pair, but at least while you're looking for it, you don't want that extra noise. And then the other thing with this is, some people use trend lines. I don't really use them. And you want to make sure you have your trend cloud on. That's going to be really important. That's this cloud cover right here. Now, for the Elite Algo Oscillator, You want to have it on a chart. You want to put it in trend mode, and you want to actually check your hidden bullish and bearish divergences. So that way you can see more divergences in the markets. The other thing is you want to have your moving average type be EMA, and you're going to change the periods to 8, 13, and 21, and leave the stochastic at 17. But the main thing here is going to be your elite breakout filter, and that's going to actually change the trend mode within Elite Algo Oscillator. So now that you have that set up, it's going to look just like this. Now, obviously, if you don't know what Fibonacci is, I have a separate video that I'll link to where you can see what Fibonacci is and how to use it. But I'm going to show you really simple how to really put it together. Fibonacci is going to be right here. And these are just basically lines or measurements that the market likes to respond from. When you're drawing a Fibonacci on a downtrend, you want to draw from the high to the low, and you see it makes it real easy, Elite Algo, because Elite Algo is going to give you the high to highlight and the low to highlight. So I see this high and I see this lower low. So with the Elite Algo, you want to have a downtrending market when you're doing the downward Fibonacci's. Have a downtrending market, and you want to have it on a high, and you want to make sure you're bringing it down to a lower low. You see here you have a higher high going into a lower low. That's good for trend reversals. So this, you see how the trend reversed during this segment, changing from a higher high to a lower low. But you're able to see where to put the Fibonacci. The second aspect of the Fibonacci is that you want to have your Fibonacci ratio set up. Usually default, you're going to have your 38, 5, 618, and 76. I like to change to 76 to 71. I found that to be a better level that gets more reactions in my experience. But with the Fibonacci strategy, the Fibonacci's are almost like your price levels or support resistance, however way you want to conceptualize it. And what I'm doing is going off of the high and the low, and I want price to bounce off a Fibonacci point. So looking here, price had bounced off the 38.2 right here. Price bounces off of that, and simply what I'm looking for is for price to change color and close. So I get trend, I identify my Fibonacci's using the highs and the lows that Elite Algo gives me. I wait for a retracement or a pullback to react off of a Fibonacci point. And then once that happens, I just look for the confirmation, which is the change of color and closure of the candles. That's what you're looking for in this strategy. As far as your trade management, what I would recommend is you have your stop loss. It could depend on how you want to do it. You can have it, the first one would be above the high or the labeled candle. So if you're trading off of a lower high for a sell, you want to have the stop loss right above that. And then you want to look for at least like a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-5 reward to risk. So that way you have a positive reward to risk ratio, at least for take profit one. If you're a little bit more advanced and maybe you have more comfortability, you can minimize your stop loss by going below. If it's a bigger candle like this, you can go above the high or the open of that downward candle, or below the open of an upward candle if you're doing a buy, and I'll show you a buy example. So with this one, I'm able to minimize my stop loss and go just off of that trigger candle and just going to the zero part, or just looking for whatever is a 1.5 to 1 off of my stop loss that I chose. That's what I play off of, because for this strategy, the stop loss dictates my take profit, because I'm looking for certain reward to risk ratios. So that would be the instance of a sell. And I went a little bit fast to go over the entire concept. I'm going to break it down and we'll do one more example to where you'll have a easy depiction of what to do. So Another thing we're gonna actually go on an go for the uptrend. So on an uptrend, you want a high point to be a higher high, and then you want to trade off of a higher low. So one thing that I'm looking for is we're going to use this example here. It's actually not the cleanest example. You see, this was kind of consolidating. We find a cleaner example, and then we can go over maybe the rougher examples afterwards. Alrighty, so price from here went and made a higher high, and then from price on that higher high retraced and went down to the 61.8. Now, a side note, this could be an additional confirmation. If you see divergence happening on the oscillator after that price reacts off that Fibonacci, you can take it right at the close of that candle. So that would have put your entry somewhere in here, and that would have been a nice entry. If you need a little bit more confirmation, you can wait and take the entry after the candle changes colors. Now in this example, we're just looking at the fact that you're drawing your Fibonacci from this higher low to this higher high. So you have two of them. They're both in the same area as far as where they end up. So it didn't matter which one. But if you're looking and you have this happen and they're not at the same area, pick the one that is the most recent. You get your higher low. Your higher low gives you your opportunities. Like, okay, now we have a higher low that's been created, and now we're looking for our buy. And on this one, you would have had your buy here. Now you can see this was a losing trade, but the setup, the execution was correct. You had an uptrend, you had a higher high followed by a higher low. You had your Fibonacci respect, and then a change of color. Every trade, no matter what type of trading strategy, is going to have losing examples, but the execution on this example is exactly what you're looking for as far as getting into your trade. Let's go back, let's change instruments and just kind of go fresh look. So going completely fresh, see it right away. So uptrend, I'm gonna go from this higher low. Go from this higher low here to this higher high. There. Bring it in a little bit so it can match up with where the points price is. So you have your higher low, you draw up to your higher high. It gets right on that Fibonacci, only a few pips away. I can still count that. And then all I'm looking for here is a change of color and closure, which happens on this candle. So now on my buy position, it could look something like this. I can have my stop loss go below this low where this wick is, go a little bit below that wick. And I can go from our 1 to 5 or 1 to 1 or 2 to 1, whichever one you like. And that'll be my take profit. Now, some things I do like to do to just kind of maximize my profitability is I like to be able to do twin trading. So what I mean by that is instead of opening up one order per setup, I open up two orders. The first order does my 1 to 5 reward to risk, and then my second order can do a 2 to 5 reward to risk, and then I'm trailing my stop loss. I have another video on twin trading that I can recommend to you, so that way you understand that type of trading. Don't have a lot of time to get into it right now, but for people who traded for a while, it's just opening up two trades, the second trade having a bigger reward to risk than the first trade. So that way you can maximize your profitability in your trading. But this is exactly how you use the Fibonacci strategy with Elite Algo, and Elite Algo just makes it very simple to get into those trades, to understand where you're looking at, where you're putting your Fibonacci's, because when I was new, it took me a long time to figure out exactly where to put Fibonacci's. And I liked it, but I didn't know how to use it. With this, it makes it a lot easier to use, and you just follow the guide that Elite Algo gives you. So that's your trading strategy. If you have any sort of divergences within Elite Algo, then you can use that to add an extra confirmation to your trade, and you'll feel a lot more confident in trading it. But this is the Elite Algo Fibonacci strategy. I hope that this helps, and I'll see you at the next video.